if you look at all the potential cost savings from that proper material evaluation, and say you spent previous year $150,000 on just wrap kits, but I was using it for a majority of spot graphics.
Right.
And I'm using premium 3-dimensional wrap film where I could have been using a high-performance polymeric.
Makes sense.
And save, 20, 30%. Those savings, at the end of the year, if you tally it all up, you're buying a new printer, you're giving bonuses to your staff, taking a nicer vacation.
Are you wrapping cars more than 12 hours a day, every day? Working nonstop but can barely get by? Burnout, missing deadlines, and wondering just how much longer you can keep this up?
That was us too. We started our wrap shop buried under $250,000 in debt, and it felt absolutely impossible. But we dug out, built a profitable shop, and are still in the trenches of owning and operating a wrap shop. We're here to share what we learned along the way so that you don't make the same mistakes that we did.
And we're here to help you with the business side of the wraps, like pricing, building a team, streamlining your systems, ultimately so that you can run your shop and your shop stops running you.
Welcome to the Wrap Ops Podcast, brought to you by Wrap Fam Unleashed.
Coming up, we have a phenomenal interview with Josh Culverhouse, now with Metamark. Been in the industry for decades, worked with a couple different manufacturers here and was in production before all of that started. So kind of was a customer of the industry first and then went into the manufacturing side. I want to give a huge shout out to the Wrap Institute and International Sign Association, ISA, for allowing us to be here today. We are live shooting this interview from the ISA 2026 show. It's a phenomenal expo, and sucks to be you if you weren't here, but we have some amazing content and interviews coming up. So if you are a wrap shop owner looking about or just interested in seeing some of your other options from the manufacturing side, stay tuned. Josh goes into the weeds of making sure you pick the right manufacturer. Josh, welcome to the Wrap Ops Podcast. Before we get too far into it, to those that are watching and or listening that don't know who you are, who are you? What position do you have now? And then kind of how'd you get there? How'd you find yourself where you are today?
Oh man, that's
we need more time, right?
That's a lot to unpack. So, Josh Culverhouse, I've been in the signage and graphics industry since 2005.
Okay.
I started as an intern at a sign and graphics company in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
Square One Design. Very fond memories there.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
Are they still around?
They are not.
Okay.
Actually, I think he had run that business for over 25 years and decided to move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doug Schulte was the owner's name.
Okay.
He's a legend in this industry.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the folks around the Indianapolis market have all gone through and worked with Doug over the years.
Okay.
So he's kind of we'll call him the Godfather.
Yeah.
Responsible for a lot of the development of a lot of the installers and production and designer folks in that market.
Yeah,
so,
that makes it similar to like Jim Miller in the Atlanta area. It's like,
exactly.
Man, it's like everyone that we're running into kind of came in and trained.
He was laying materials before anybody really knew what it was.
Yeah.
And very keen eye for design. So I learned a lot from him. And that working there gave me a connection to get a job with Orifal.
Okay.
So I spent 17 years there, and more recently become the director of sales for the Americas for Metamark. Okay. Metamark is a UK-based company. They're up in the northwest side of the island, just south of Scotland.
Yeah.
But they've been manufacturing pressure-sensitive adhesive graphic marking films, digital print materials, architectural films, paint protection films, etc.
Yeah.
For over roughly 35 years. And they've done international business all over the world.
Yeah.
More importantly, here in the U.S., or in the Americas, I should say, Canada, they've been doing business with ND Graphics for 15 plus years.
Okay.
Down in Latin America, we have a distributor called Abengraf in Santiago, Chile. They've been doing business for 26 years.
Wow. Okay.
So
not new.
Not new.
New to the U.S.
Just new to the U.S.
Okay.
So very established, very recognized throughout Europe.
Yeah.
But with expansion throughout the years into Australia, parts of the Middle East, India, all over APAC, all over Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Americas.
So with the role with Metamark,
Yeah.
or that like kind of position, job offer, job opportunity,
Yeah.
what was it that excited you, and ultimately as a shop owner, I mean, you would be like, I don't know, if we're going into like prospecting and like trying to draft, college players into the pros, it's
Right.
like the top of the board.
Yeah.
With just your experience, 17 years with one company, even just the thought that you would be able to entice someone to kind of not jump ship, but, move to a new opportunity.
Yeah.
What was it with Metamark that you were like, yeah, I'm excited for this?
Yeah, so first of all, I value every minute I have had in this industry
Yeah.
with everybody that I've gotten to work with over the years, and I've learned a lot from many people.
Yeah.
And, if you have that sponge mentality of just soaking it all in, and figuring out how, you can deliver knowledge and your experience and share that, and it's that revolving, just circular experience. And so when I got a call from Metamark, they said, hey, we've got a very established business model in Canada and down in Latin America, but we've never really tried to penetrate the United States before. We would really value your experience. And, obviously I didn't take that lightly, like leaving a highly successful company like Orifal, who's very well renowned and very, well respected. So it wasn't an easy decision, but Metamark, they illustrated their product line, their focus on tailoring solutions, and helping customers kind of consolidate their material selection, and the portfolio that they've built over those 35 years.
Yeah.
Showed me that they've listened to every region and dialed in a piece of their portfolio to work in every region to meet quality standards, budget standards, and most importantly, availability.
Yeah.
And when you have a wide-ranging portfolio, if we were to experience a supply chain issue again, like we were coming out of COVID, and you have a very diverse background where materials are cross-functional, but also you have backup second and third options that are also meet a minimum viable product for an application or et cetera. It's good to know that portfolio is in place and that supply chain responsibility is taken seriously.
Yeah.
And they don't just peg, one solution or two solutions for every application out there like a lot of other manufacturers do in our industry.
Yeah.
They're more about, hey, let's dial things in for the climates in these regions, for the different application surfaces. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And so looking at their, we'll say, buffet of materials, I had the opportunity to dial in what would work for the United States, what's missing in the United States, and hey, let's give real solutions that are not only cost effective, but perform and, get rid of all the fluff that a lot of, I'm not going to say that it's rampant, but there's a lot of fluff in this industry that is unnecessary.
Yeah.
And, so if you have an opportunity to do things differently, and put the end user first, you guys in Dayton, Ohio, that's how we want to work. That's how I want to operate a business. And, we're taking it one day at a time, and we're building a really vast distribution network throughout the United States. People understand what we're trying to achieve, and they want to be part of it. And it's pretty cool.
No, that is that's awesome. And two, I think just the nature of our industry, like we're all basically a subset of marketing.
Yeah.
So you definitely can see that
Yeah.
for sure with some of the materials of like, is that actually a better product?
Right.
Is that actually meant for that or
Right.
whatever? Or is
Yeah.
this just a marketing
Yeah.
play?
Yeah.
And-
If you want nuts and bolts,
yeah,
keep it easy
yeah,
and easy, simple product selection
Yeah.
and solutions. Metamark definitely will check all those boxes and keep you in mind and the benefits of you building margin in your business.
yeah,
You know, if we can't help you build margin in your business from your supply,
yeah.
then we're not doing our job.
Okay.
So
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah.
So you're with Metamark now. Obviously, you had a long kind of stint with Orifol.
Yeah.
When you were actually still just in production and
Yeah.
like, you know, in a shop, what were materials were you using then?
Oh man, that's a good
Because it
question.
probably wasn't one of those two, if I'm guessing.
Actually, it was not Metamark because they weren't in the United
Yeah,
States.
fair. Yeah,
so
of
that's
course.
fair, right? So I'm not going to name names, but we went through a massive product failure
Okay.
with the company that we were using regularly,
Yeah.
and it was a massive shrinkage issue.
Okay.
The materials were literally disintegrating off the adhesive,
Oh, fun.
and it was worldwide.
Yeah.
We were one of the early ones that had the issue.
Yeah.
And got a fleet of vans where this occurred.
Mhm.
And that was my introduction to using or considering other materials.
Yeah.
So I had just gotten put into the production manager role at this company. And we had really good distributors
Yeah.
that cared about what happened, even though we weren't supported by that manufacturer that we had issues with.
Yeah.
So, so I can thank that company for why I got a job with Orifol,
Okay.
because that was one of the products that we switched to.
Yeah.
And then we used a little bit of 3M, obviously, as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, it was we had really good people in the industry that were well trained. When manufacturers and distributors are aligned, it makes
Yeah.
end users' lives, production folks' lives easier.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go off in a little rabbit hole here
Of
because as a manufacturing rep,
Mhm.
generically speaking, we have the opportunity to peek behind a lot of curtains
Yeah.
with sign companies, wrap shops, etc. And one of the things that I gleaned a long time ago when I moved from like a product support role into a sales role
Yeah.
is when you go in and speak with folks like you and Tanner, one of the issues that you guys have is that you don't have enough time in the day to build and run a business and still educate yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So when a manufacturer rep comes in with the distributor rep and they're well aligned and, with the purpose of, they're there to inform you and sell you something.
Yeah.
But if you can't, as a manufacturer rep, make it a consultative experience or an educational experience, you're not going to want to see manufacturer reps anymore.
Right.
Or distributor reps that can't add value to the relationship.
Yeah.
Right? So our focus, even back to when I was with Orifol and now with Metamark, the reps that we work with, both, the ones we're hiring at Metamark and then the ones that we work with through our distributors, the distributor reps are an extension of us, right?
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that we're adding value and education to the distributor reps, but also making it worth your while for us to come in and interrupt your day
Yeah.
because you're trying to, hustle,
You're right.
right?
Right.
And
You
build
don't.
your business.
We don't want to just be sold
Right.
to, essentially.
Right.
But yeah, no, the relationships there are huge. I mean, I know like you personally have been in our shop for that exact reason
Yeah.
of just kind of education on new products that were coming out and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is huge
Yeah.
for one, picking the right, product for the application, but then also just building those relationships and the trust just amongst the vendors and stuff like that as
Yeah.
well from a shop standpoint. Because I know We've definitely been in pitches over the years where it's like you don't know who to reach out to except
Right.
like somebody you met at the show.
Right.
And it's like, hey, this is going wrong, or
Yeah.
I'm struggling with this, and they're able to, kind of immediately fix that. Like I know we had I guess I'll say the name. Because they completely helped me out. But we had a color change project with a Hexus material.
Okay.
And large vehicle, big oversized Escalade. It required like 2 rolls. Well, those 2 rolls came from 2 different lot numbers.
Ooh, yeah.
So, and this customer is very particular, just generally speaking, like you could definitely notice, but it's like of all customers, this is not the one that you want any type of, color change difference. And so anyway, called our distributor, and our distributor kind of just said, sucks to be you. Like one lot number is different than the other. And I'm like, okay, well, can you call all your warehouses? Like, do you have some form of database to like, I will buy more material, but it needs to be from that same lot number.
Right.
And they pretty much just told me like, sucks. That's not something we can do. And it went to a connection that I had made. It actually was someone that had came into our shop to talk to us about, exactly what you're talking about, tell us about their Hexus materials, that I called on and was just like, I am in a pinch.
Yeah.
Can you, does Hexus have the ability to like look at a full database of every distributor? I'm like, I will import it.
Yeah.
I just need it. I need that lot number. And to that point is he was able to save us in that pinch. That customer, very good customer of ours, very well connected as well. Like ran into him at a different expo show because he was there to support his wife's business. So it's just like, wow, okay. Like because of my relationships with manufacturer, that was able to save the day in a pinch.
Yeah.
Saved our business's reputation, where if I didn't have that, I didn't, if they weren't coming in to educate and build those relationships with the shop owner, there was no chance. Like I don't know what I would have done. Either rewrapped the car completely, gave a refund, pissed them off.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
It would not have gone as smoothly as it did. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I remember numerous conversations over the last couple decades of with end users like yourself is here's some tips, and it got difficult there during coming out of COVID with the supply chain, and you have materials constantly flying off the shelf because everybody's emergency buying.
Yeah.
And some of those things you couldn't help but get from multiple lot numbers, for that example that you brought up. And it's one of those things that if the manufacturer is educating the distributor, like, hey, even down to the pickers in the warehouse, like if somebody's ordering 2 rolls, right, or 3 rolls, like tell them to look at those lot numbers and try to pull the same one. Yeah. Because chances are they're going on the same project and could be on the same surface. Yeah. So, definitely had a lot of those conversations over the years.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And a lot of the manufacturers can track where things are going.
Yeah, and that's what that's what
unless
he was
it's
able.
a hub and spoke model.
Fair. Yeah, no, and to his credit, it was like same day got back with me of like, okay, we've located that lot and pulled whatever strings he had to do and connect us to who we had to just like make sure we got what we needed. Yeah. Which was huge, and there's a reason we are so particular with who we work with. Yeah. Because not all manufacturers are created equal.
No, they're not.
And really not all distributors are created equal either.
No.
There's definitely over the last few years in the distributor world, there's definitely kind of a changing of the...
Well, and that's what I appreciate is, over the years, you've seen a lot of different styles and models of how distributors operate. And, years and years ago, there were several distributors in our industry that would really invest heavily in the education of their salespeople. Yeah. Because it goes back to adding value to the relationship, right? And relationships don't just occur overnight. Right. You have, I'm sure, your preferred distributor reps over others that aren't so good. And you can tell who's taken the time to invest in learning the products they're selling. Right. And, learning not just about the tech specs of the product, but where it actually goes.
Yeah.
Where it's actually used. And that's where, when you have manufacturers that are investing in participating in these distributor events, that they're training events where it's just for their inside sales or their outside sales teams, like manufacturers yearn for those opportunities because it's going to make everybody better. But that's fewer and farther between now. So a lot of this is up to the manufacturer now just getting out more frequently in front of folks like yourself, because the investment's not being made as much as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because, the dollar's a lot skinnier than it used to be,
Yeah.
right? But with that being said, the distributors that are still investing in their open houses or their sales events, like in the Midwest, you have, Wensco, for example. I know Glance does as well, and Grimco with their demo days.
Yeah.
Like, those are big deal because not everybody can make it to these shows.
Right.
Right.
So those are more regional.
Right.
Kind
So
of
there's
hubs,
more regional, opportunities. So if you're not taking advantage of the local market opportunity as a sign or a sign company or a wrap shop or whatever, you really should be, because there's a lot of knowledge in that room that day, right? And that's an opportunity for you to not only meet with one manufacturer, but 4, 5, 6, 7 different manufacturers, from substrates to vinyl materials to printers to LED companies to you name it. I mean, back to your original question, like, if you have an opportunity to attend an event, any event in our industry, like the Wrap Summit that ISA put on at Digital EFX in Louisville a couple weeks ago, we went to that. We participated in that, sponsored that.
That's a phenomenal,
great opportunity. We had some great speakers, and they were just spoon feeding knowledge to anybody that was attending.
Yeah.
And there was all levels of experience in that room. And there's another event coming up soon with the Masters of Branding and Elevate.
Exactly.
And that's in Jim Miller's shop. There at Miller Decals north of Atlanta. And like, those are great opportunities, but it's not always possible to make an investment to attend something like that. But you'll definitely get the ROI if you're, taking copious notes and really paying attention and using that opportunity to connect. Because I've seen so many installers that have attended events like this that there's so much collaboration now.
Oh, yeah.
Way more than there
There's
used
a
to
ton.
be. It's phenomenal.
To that, the ISA's Wrap Summit event, the very first year I got invited to that on just kind of their beta, essentially.
Yeah.
I left that with such a high. Like, it was such a phenomenal event because it was, I think there was, I can't remember. That was at Metro Wraps in Florida, was the first year. And
great facility.
Yeah. And it was an email that I got from, kind of the, like, Craig with ISA, Justin with the Wrap Institute was in it. And it was like, hey, are you interested in this event? It's going to be at Bruno's shop at Metro Wraps. That was literally the email.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what it is, but if it's those three people, like, asking me to come to an event, I was like, I even told my grandma, I was like, I'm going to Miami. She's like, for what? And I was like, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
It could literally be a dinner, but like, that is an opportunity you don't miss.
Yeah.
And it was like the most phenomenal event ever.
Yeah.
And then, full disclosure, I'm actually on the ISA committee that like helps run that summit now every year.
Yeah.
But it was to that point, it's just I believed in that event so much of just like, these shows are great. Yeah. Like, I cannot talk them up enough, but that summit was specifically designed around limiting the number of people in the room, so there was better collaboration. Yeah. By limiting, it's like there's still like 100.
Right.
And it was just choreographed.
The round table discussions.
Yeah, the round table discussions.
Those were eye-opening. Even how long, we've been in the industry now, and you're still hearing war stories of what things that people have gone through and how they work through those challenges. And you can see these seasoned veterans, they're becoming back to my they're being a sponge. They're soaking it in, because like, man, I've been dealing with that for years. And you see the light bulb go off in some of these folks' head, and it's like, wow, why didn't I ever think of that?
Yeah.
And now they can take it back home and, implement that into their business.
And I think that shows on some of these shops that are just dominating and killing it.
Yeah.
Because to that point, even in that first year, I was talking to like people with 2-3 decades on me.
Yeah.
And they were having some issues that we'd already figured out.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, holy crap. Like I can help them right now.
Yeah.
Which was a huge honor because it had been the other way around for so long of like, I'm always asking them for help because, our story more than most, but it was like me and Tanner on the back of the futon, like just trying to survive and figure it out.
Yeah.
So we were reaching out for advice and they were pouring in us so much, but that was one of the first events that it like flipped was like, oh, holy crap. I guess we're not the small shop living on the back of the futon anymore. Like we've learned, we've grown, we've figured a few
both of your
things.
shops like that I've seen. I mean, the first one was very nice, and then this new one is phenomenal.
Yeah, thank you.
The space that you guys were able to achieve, and the amount of bays you have, the space for production, the showroom, like you guys have come a long way.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
It was our shop we're in now is 5 times the size of our original shop.
Yeah. But that came about because you were well networked in your community. Yeah. And you knew that was coming onto the market.
Yeah.
Like, good
it was
for you, right?
We literally bought the building off market from a customer that I had, I don't know, 5 years of relationship with at that point. So they trusted me, not from a credit score standpoint, because that would have not been good. But they trusted me from just they knew me, they've worked with me, they've seen what we've been able to do in 5 years, and we're like, we trust you with this. So, and it's been huge. We went from 3 employees to now we're 10 and plus, and like actively still recruiting and hiring right now. Just from really the building to be able to grow that. But I want to take a quick break.
Okay.
Allow our sponsors to get the airtime that they deserve for helping us bring this podcast to you guys. And when we come back, I want to hound you on when you are a shop evaluating what manufacturer to like vet your distributors, what materials kind of really pour into that. That new shop owner that might just be getting into the printable materials, or someone who's been doing it for 30 years but hasn't changed in 30 years. And it might be time to kind of evaluate some other manufacturers. But that will be right after these short messages.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
After years of running a wrap shop, I've learned this. Your supplier should be a partner, not a question mark. That's why we trust Grimco. For over 5 years now, they have delivered on time and backed us when it mattered most. There's enough to manage in this business. Your supplier should not be one of them. Set up your new account today. Use code RAPOPS5 for 5% off your first order with Grimco.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. One small plug before we get into hounding Josh on how to help us as wrap shop owners is we are a startup podcast. Please like, subscribe, share it with your other wrap shop owner friends. But let's get back to it. So, Josh, from a wrap shop owner perspective, and kind of take it from 2 angles, maybe someone that's just getting into, printable materials. We just recently had a podcast with Neil about, picking the right equipment and stuff like that. Naturally, the next thought is picking the right materials to go into that machine. But then also that 30-year vet that just, hasn't changed his manufacturer in 30 years. And it's probably time to maybe reevaluate. I'll kind of let that open-ended thought kind of take you wherever you want to go first. But what advice would you give to someone in that seat?
So I think first of all, knowing what I know about product selection, and what I've seen over the years, if you're a distributor or manufacturer rep and you've walked into many shops, big, small, and everything in between, you see a lot of inventory just sitting there. Right? Where a lot of shops just get past their skis, using that expression. And their supply chain and how they manage it gets a little out of hand, and they don't keep close enough tabs on what they're sitting on versus what they need to bring in.
Okay.
And so I would just say to the newbies, even to the 30-year vets, like, really get a good process in place for your inventory management.
Okay.
Because materials aren't free.
Of course.
Some are not cheap. And there are a lot of materials out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. We all know that.
Yeah.
It's a very saturated market.
Yeah.
So, obviously a lot of product selection is made through interactions like shows like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to bring up an example of something I experienced recently.
Yeah.
And I was at Reliable Sign Supply
Okay.
in Dallas, Texas. They had an open house event, and they had their manufacturers there, and customers came in, had good lunch, all the good things about open houses. But, with Metamark specifically, we've been only in the U.S. market through distribution for the last, we'll say, 8 months.
Yeah.
Out of the last year and a half that we've been building our network.
Yeah.
And
to reiterate what we talked about earlier, Metamark is not new.
Right.
35, plus years.
Yeah.
But very new, obviously, to the U.S. market.
Yeah. But the thing that was really impressive to me is because I've worked with a lot of really good distributors in the past, like we were talking about earlier before the break, how educated they are.
Yeah.
And every sales rep that was hosting customers at this open house at Reliable, they were like walking their customers to each booth, and they were engaged with them.
Okay.
And they knew our entire portfolio and what that customer would appreciate knowing about our portfolio.
That's awesome.
So you could tell that they've invested the time in researching our product, what it's used for. I think if they were doing the job for us, honestly.
Yeah.
So, like,
Which from a distributor standpoint, that is kind of, I wouldn't say it's their job, but to be a good distributor, you should very intimately know the products that you're offering, but then also intimately know the customer and what their pain points are, what their lane is, because we could say wrap shop, but every wrap shop kind of has a different lane or a different niche or target within, which from a material standpoint might change what material they use. So that makes sense.
And the distributor is a conduit between the end user and the manufacturers, right?
Yeah.
The suppliers. And, experiencing that, there's a lot of complacency with sales reps from distributors. So I guess where I wanted to get with this point was that if you're new, really hunt down the distributor reps that know their stuff and align with them. Because, and if they're doing their job, they're pitching several different solutions.
Yeah.
Not just one specific brand, because every brand has their pros and cons and strengths and weaknesses, right? And, from another aspect, like coming up in April, I got to experience this last year, but up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
So a lot of population in the Northeast. Lindenmeyer Monroe, long-term paper supplier to various, genres in the graphics and wide format offset printing space.
Yeah.
They put on a wide format summit.
Okay.
So if you're in the Northeast, you have an opportunity to meet with a ton of printer manufacturers, a lot of the vinyl manufacturers, and similar, their reps that we've engaged with over the last year, they are extremely knowledgeable. They know what their customer pain points are.
Yeah.
So my point is, every region in this country, this great country that we live in, there's really good distributors. So really take time to know the good from the bad.
Yeah.
And don't just price shop.
Yeah.
Service is worth something because of what you said earlier about that Hexus issue with the lot number differences.
Yeah.
It's not Hexus's fault. It's not the distributor's fault. It's just
Yeah.
Nobody knew to pull from the same lot, right?
Right.
But a good distributor will know that they need to be at least looking out for that or giving you a heads up.
Yeah.
Hey, is this going on one job or is this going on different substrates where it would be okay?
Yeah.
Right? So, it's the little things, small ball, old baseball analogy. Those that play really good small ball usually win and are successful.
Yeah.
So it's doing the little things right and well. That's worth something to, a sign company or a wrap shop that's getting started. But, now from your question on the 30-year vet, that it's just using what they use because they used it once and it worked and that's all they use, right?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. But technology advancements, have come a long way in my 20 years in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Air egress systems, tack levels, tailored for different environments, high tack solutions, low tack solutions. There's a lot more than meets the eye in our industry. And, there's a lot of people that will use permanent vehicle wrap film on wall wraps.
Yeah.
Why?
Overkill, right?
It's overkill, right?
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of people have heard me say this over the years, but you're basically killing ants with bazookas when you could just use your flip-flop.
Yeah.
I know you shouldn't kill ants, but it's an easy
I
analogy
get
to
it.
understand.
Yeah.
So my point is, what if that customer doesn't know what they don't know? And you're their trail guide. You're helping them by providing a solution and a service, right?
Yeah.
By installing wall graphics, for example.
Yeah.
And if you're giving them a permanent vehicle wrap solution, one, it's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Talking over $1,000 for a kit versus a product solution where you could have used a $400 or $500 kit.
Yeah.
So two things happen there. One, you have basically destroyed any opportunity for margin in your project.
Yeah.
Or to overcome that, you're way overcharging your customer because of your material solution.
Yeah. You just doubled your material costs.
Right. So having conversations with your distributor reps and not just talking about yesterday's sports score and checking a box that I visited a customer today if I'm a distributor rep.
Yeah.
And didn't really do anything on that sales call. Like, you should be challenging your customers as a distributor rep. And you, the sign shop owner, the wrap shop owner, should be challenging your distributor reps. But, like I said, there's a lot of complacency, but there's still really good distributors out there. So like I said earlier, you just got to find the ones that care and are asking those challenging questions.
Yeah.
And using those challenging questions to give you realistic solutions, not just, a complacent manufacturing rep selling one solution for 30 different applications when it's really only designed for 2 or 3 applications.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So
I think to your point, it's probably if you sell, I don't know, a wall wrap a quarter,
yeah,
maybe from the inventory thing that we started with, maybe it doesn't make sense to go, get the flip flop.
Right.
Just use the bazooka because you inventory the bazooka and you only sell one a quarter.
That's fair. But I'll interrupt you.
Yeah.
That's okay. If you're not telling your customer that you're doing that, and they're expecting to be able to remove that from that wall in 2 or 3 years cleanly, and it pulls off every ounce of paint down into the sheetrock, that customer didn't know that was going to happen.
That's fair.
Right? And I know shops will say, oh, well, we don't guarantee removals. That's true. You should never guarantee a removal because you don't know as a shop the integrity of the bond between the paint and the wall and if it was primed properly. But at least you can give them a fighter's chance by using a product designed for the application, right? So I get your point, though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's totally fair.
Yeah.
But at least give your customer written notice that, hey, I'm using something that I know will work, but there's ramifications for that.
Yeah.
So that's the point.
Yeah.
But I would say back to that topic, though, if you're a wrap shop owner and you dabble, say we'll say commercial wraps, okay, commercial graphics,
yeah,
and you should challenge yourself internally and say, let's look at the different applications that I experience throughout a 12-month period. Okay? And let's put a percentage into each bucket of types of installs that I do.
Yeah.
So, because it's easy to just call yourself a wrap shop,
Yeah.
right? Now, in today's day and age, when you say a wrap shop, most will say vehicles,
Yeah.
but wall wraps,
Yeah.
building wraps, right? So, okay, let's look at the different types of applications, and put a percentage around each of those buckets, like I said, and look at the materials you're using for each of those.
Yeah.
Right. So, what you could do for your business is, responsible material selection. Get with your distributor rep, get with your preferred manufacturer rep, say, hey, here's the breakdown of what I'm doing. Here's what I'm using.
Yeah.
Can you help me optimize this?
Okay.
Right? So you've seen a lot of other customers, wrap shops, generically speaking, use different materials for different applications. Preferably you're getting a little bit better idea than just the one-size-fits-all solution from a lazy, complacent distributor rep.
Of course.
But you're getting real solution. And so what I would suggest there is going through and having your distributor rep or manufacturer rep help you optimize what you're doing and showing you how much money you can save by using the right product.
Yeah.
And total all that up for a 12-month period, right? As a small business owner, where am I reinvesting in my business, and how can I reinvest in my business? So I can now look at whatever I'm saving at the end of the year over that 12 months by doing proper material, inventory management.
And I know from to not scare everyone with proper inventory management.
Right. Yeah.
For our shop, we literally just use a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
It lists every product we order.
Yeah.
We're a little crazy, and we even go to the tuck tools we get on Amazon or whatever. But we literally, everything that we purchase regularly that we inventory with my price per roll or per unit or whatever. And then that is literally every week we're just stocking to our inventory. But to your point, at the end of the year, I know, we purchased whatever it was, 103 rolls of whatever, which allows us to then have that distributor conversation.
Yeah.
And then even more so is are we actually using the right product for the right thing? But also, I'm buying 100 rolls of something.
Yeah.
Is there any type from a price standpoint, instead of ordering one roll or two roll, whatever, if I'm buying 100 a year, we'll go quick, easy numbers. Instead of buying 2 rolls a week, what if I buy, 10 rolls or larger to kind of get those, but that's definitely that relationship between you and your distributor with their product knowledge is where that comes in.
Exactly. And it's not just about you're not necessarily using a cheaper product because it's cheap. You're using the appropriately priced product for what you're trying to achieve.
Right.
But again, back to what I said early on, it's all about, where does this material fit in all the different things I'm doing?
Yeah.
Where does this material fit in all the different things I'm doing? And maybe you have 3.
Yeah.
So you don't need 12.
Right.
Right? And where can I use my scraps? All those things, right? But if you look at all the potential cost savings from that proper material evaluation, and say you spent previous year $150,000 on just wrap kits, but I was using it for a majority of spot graphics,
right?
And I'm using premium 3-dimensional wrap film where I could have been using a high performance polymeric.
Makes sense.
And save 20-30%.
Yeah.
And then for all these wall wraps, I could have used a nice polymeric with removable adhesive versus permanent. And removable adhesive doesn't mean it's going to fall off.
Yeah.
But my savings there is another, probably 50 to 60% from that premium wrap kit. Those savings at the end of the year, if you tally it all up, you're buying a new printer. You're giving bonuses to your staff.
Exactly.
You're giving more you're taking a nicer vacation. Right?
Exactly.
So,
and for everyone listening, don't feel like you have to know every word that Josh just said.
Yeah.
That's what you should be leaning on to those partners with your distributor and your manufacturers.
Right.
They you should know enough to be dangerous.
Right.
But in the same way that your plumbing customer doesn't need to know how to wrap the plumbing van,
Right.
they might know enough to make sure that you as the shop know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you should be looking at your manufacturers and your distributors as well. It's like you should know enough to make sure they're not, getting one over on you.
Right.
But rely on them for their expertise. Rely on you to know the material better than I do.
Yeah.
Because if you know the material better than your manufacturer rep, and to the whole
Yeah.
point of this, making sure the distributors are educated,
Yeah.
the wrap shop owner shouldn't understand the science behind the material more than the manufacturer.
Right.
Because it's the manufacturer's game.
Right.
So for that, to kind of close this out here, Josh,
Yeah.
ton of respect for you.
Thank you.
Love you so much. Where does someone that's interested in Metamark, where do we go? We want to learn more.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
So we are actually about 2 weeks out from launching our U.S. website,
Okay. Cool.
but we still have our global website.
No, it's fair. And I would say time this airs, the U.S. website will probably be live.
Okay,
So
perfect.
Do you know what that is?
So it'll be it'll be, if you just Google Metamark, it'll show up. I
Fair
don't know if it's it should be .us or .com.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We're still working on those details. But nonetheless, we have great social channels, very active social channels, and they're more educational than pushing a product.
Fair.
So if you follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, the usual.
Yeah.
Something new every day.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Wrap Ops podcast. My very selfish ask is please subscribe, and share it with another wrap shop owner that you know. And until next time, see ya.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
That was good.
The Wrap Institute, the largest online wrap training platform, now with a special offer. Use our code WRAPOPS15 for 15% off your order.